What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. Alright, so before I get into this video, I want to give a big shout out to the brother Aram for the $10 donation via the PayPal. Much respect to him for showing love once again to Too Raw for TV. Shout out to you, brother. Alright, so I want to talk about one of the great scorers in basketball history that is never, ever, ever mentioned anymore. He's never mentioned. And he didn't play that long in the ABA, but he is arguably the greatest scorer. He's the greatest scorer to play in ABA history. I believe he holds the record for highest career scoring average in ABA history. And he also currently holds the record, although I got a feeling, Kevin Durant may best him if he stays long enough. But currently, he still holds the record for highest career scoring average in Phoenix Suns franchise history. Charlie Scott. Charlie Scott, 6'5", 175 pounds. Was born December 15, 1948 in New York City, New York. He grew up primarily in Harlem, New York. And as a 6'5" guard/forward, Scott attended Stuyvesant High School in New York City for 1 year before transitioning to Laurinburg Institute in Laurinburg, North Carolina. Scott transferred to Laurinburg, which was famous at the time for preparing basketball players for college. While in high school, Scott spent one summer at a basketball program at Davidson College with coach Lefty Driesell. Driesell recruited Scott, who was accepted for early admission at Davidson. However, Scott also explored Duke University, North Carolina State University, the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, and Wake Forest University at the suggestion of his coach at Laurinburg. He ultimately accepted the offer to play at UNC because he felt that as a larger public university, it would be more open to a black player, quote, breaking the color barrier. And anyway, Scott played college basketball at the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill, where he was the first black scholarship athlete, the very first one. Scott averaged 22.1 points and 7.1 rebounds per game at UNC, and a career best 27.1 points per game in his senior season. He was a two-time All-American and a three-time All-Atlantic or All-ACC selection. Scott led UNC to their second and then third consecutive NCAA Final Four appearances in 1968 and 1969. Scott was a gold medalist at the 1968 Summer Olympics, playing for the 1968 United States men's Olympic basketball team. Scott was the fourth leading scorer on the team, 8 points per game, coached by Henry Iba. Scott was drafted by the Boston Celtics in 1970, but he had already signed a contract with the Virginia Squires of the ABA. Scott was named ABA Rookie of the Year after averaging 27.1 points per game. During his second season with the Squires, he set the ABA record for the highest scoring average in one season, a remarkable 34.6 points per game. However, he became dissatisfied with life in the ABA and joined the NBA's Phoenix Suns in 1972. The Suns traded Paul Silas to the Celtics after the season in order to keep him. At that point, he briefly went by the name Shahid Abdul-Alim. Scott continued his stellar play in the NBA, representing the Suns in 3 straight NBA All-Star games, 1973, 74, and 75, then was traded to the Boston Celtics, a team that originally tried to hold his NBA rights, for Paul Westphal and 2 draft picks. With the Celtics in the 1975-76 NBA season, Scott won a championship ring against his former team, the Phoenix Suns. Scott later played for the Lakers and the Nuggets. He retired in 1980 with 14,837 combined ABA and NBA points. He was inducted into the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame in 2018. As far as his resume is concerned, Scott was an NBA champion, a 3-time NBA All-Star, a 2-time ABA All-Star, which makes him a 5-time All-Star altogether. He was on the All-ABA first team in 1971, the All-ABA second team in 1972, ABA Rookie of the Year in 1971, ABA All-Rookie first team in 1971. He's on the ABA All-Time team. And I normally don't talk about college stuff, but he's a 2-time consensus second-team All-American in 1969-1970, ACC Athlete of the Year in 1970, and 3-time first-team All-ACC 1968-1970. When you combine his NBA and ABA career, he averaged 20.7 points, 4 rebounds, and 5 assists per contest. As I said before, he won Olympic gold in Mexico City in 1968. Scott shot about 45% from the floor in his career overall and 77% from the charity stripe. And he holds, as I said before, he holds the ABA record, if I'm not mistaken, for highest career scoring average with a remarkable 30.6 points per game. Hall of Famer, Charlie Scott.